Hey, welcome to the very first episode of this new web series that I'm starting. I'm really excited to share with you guys all about my favorite rocks. And I had a really hard time naming this series, so thank you to everyone on Instagram who voted and messaged me and let me know what your thoughts were on this name. And with that being said, this is the first episode of Let's Get Stoned. So today on Let's Get Stoned, we're going to talk about a really cool rock that I just recently started using and is kind of new to me. So it's been really fun doing some research on it and to share that information with you. So today we're talking about Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolite. It is a mouthful, and I'm sure I'm going to trip over the name at least once. So let's break down the name, because in all of the research I've been doing about rocks for this series, it's really interesting how much a name will actually tell you about that rock. So, Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolite, say that 3 times fast, comes from Sonora, Mexico, which is just south of Arizona and California. It comes from this really remote mountainous region of Sonora. There's actually a really cool story to how it was discovered, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Dendritic is a term that is used in lots of different types of rocks, and what it means is essentially it's like this shrub or tree or fern like growth that happens inside of a rock, and it is caused by there being a impurity in the rock when it's being formed, and often it's like iron or manganese, but it does this super fun pattern in the rock. And then rhyolite is a volcanic rock. That being said, there's some controversy that I found about Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolite, about whether it's a rhyolite or a jasper, or some of the research I found even said that it's most likely a dolomite that was like created from being heated and cooled and heated and cracked and cooled, all because of different volcanic activity. So, moving on. Fun story. So, as far as like geology is concerned, Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolite is kind of a new discovery. It was discovered in 2009 by a gentleman who was out chasing his goat up the side of a mountain. He was like a few hundred yards from his like little pueblo that's like in the most beautiful little mountainside, super remote. Like, to get there, you have to have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and then when that road stops, you have to like cross a river where there's no bridge, and then hike in like quite a ways to this man's house. And he was chasing his goat up a mountainside and literally tripped over this rock that was this beautiful like blue gray, like totally didn't belong where it was. And lo and behold, he discovered this deposit of this rock. And as far as we know right now, it's the only place in the country where, or in the world, where this is coming from. So that was in 2009. In 2011, this was brought to the United States for the first time for the Tucson and Quartzsite Gem and Mineral shows, where it was a huge hit. And when I show it to you guys, you will understand why it was a huge hit. And won the Stone of the Year that year at Tucson, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, now at this point, that piece of property was purchased and has been mined completely out. So as far as I know, like, there's no more. I don't know. Hopefully somebody finds more soon, because it is super, super cool. So with that said, let's look at some rocks. So most of the Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolite that is coming from this area is like a bluish gray or yellow background. So here is a piece. Sorry, this is wet. It's better to look at rocks wet because you will know what they look like when they're all shined up and pretty. So you see this like blue, there's some yellow in this piece. And then all of this maroon, that's the dendritic part. So that is the inclusions that are coming from whether it's iron or manganese, but those are the dendrites. It can also come with a yellowish background, which I have a bigger piece to show you guys here. So this is the yellow. Like, how freaking phenomenal. And look at these dendrites. Can you guys see these? This is like that fern, like shrubby tree-like pattern. It almost looks like a picture. It's so cool. So I think a lot of why people are saying that it's potentially a dolomite is because of this banding that you can see here. If you look up dolomites, they're like kind of this color and banded and beautiful. But yeah, Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolites, y'all. Love them. If you guys are following along on Instagram, you may have seen a piece that I'm currently like in progress on. I'm making a really, really cool like outdoors mini type knife for a client, and I'm using that blue background Sonoran Dendritic Rhyolite, and it is just going to be so phenomenal. I cannot wait to share it with you when it is done. So thank you for sitting here and learning about rocks with me. I look forward to the very next episode of Let's Get Stoned, and moving forward with this project. Like, you want to learn about something? Let me know. We can do some research together, and yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Bye.